breaking news. The FBI sweeping in, making more than 30 arrests tonight, including an NBA star and an NBA coach who was coaching a big game just last night. Authorities say all part of a massive NBA and mafia gambling scandal. Investigators say they rigged poker games using high-tech devices, including an X-ray table that could read cards, face.
The FBI's NBA gambling bust wasn't just about rigged games or mafia poker. It was about someone selling LeBron James's medical secrets for cash. And the man accused of doing it wasn't some anonymous gambler hiding behind a fake name. It was Damon Jones, LeBron's longtime friend, a former teammate turned unofficial Lakers coach, the man who had keys to the locker room and access to the most guarded information in Los Angeles basketball. According to federal filings, Jones wasn't merely gossiping. He was trading LeBron's injury details before they hit the league report, letting a criminal network bet millions before anyone else knew the truth. We can't overstate it. This wasn't an outside leak. This was an inside betrayal.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this.
Jones had free access to the Lakers throughout the 2022-23 season, joining team flights, practices, and even LeBron's private pregame workouts. Then, on February 9, 2023, just 2 days after LeBron broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record, Jones allegedly texted a co-conspirator, "Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the information is out." Hours later, LeBron was ruled out of that game with ankle soreness, and the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Lakers. The text wasn't speculation. It was inside knowledge. Federal agents say Jones pocketed a small cut from that wager, setting a pattern that would later spiral into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise linked to 4 mafia families.
The first indictment involves 6 defendants. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
But the real turning point came the following January. Court filings describe a $100,000 bet against the Lakers made after Jones told his partners that a top Lakers player would be limited by injury. The player, later identified as Anthony Davis, not only played, but dominated, dropping 27 points in a win over Oklahoma City. When the bet collapsed, Jones's associates demanded a refund of the $2,500 fee he'd charged for the information. A ridiculous sum for a man connected to what prosecutors call a $7.15 million insider betting ring. Yet that refund became one of the most revealing details, proof that Jones was selling trust as much as data, and that even a failed tip could circulate through a vast web of mafia-backed gambling pipelines stretching from Las Vegas to New York. Witnesses now describe Jones as a familiar face in the Vegas high-limit rooms, puffing on imported cigars, bragging about his friendship with LeBron, and asking high rollers for temporary loans at the dice tables. To the casual observer, he looked like any ex-player chasing nostalgia. To investigators, he was a man cashing in on his connection to the most protected athlete in modern basketball. By the time federal agents moved in last month, Jones was facing conspiracy charges for wire fraud and money laundering, alongside Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups. Each had a different role in what the FBI called a nationwide takedown. Rozier allegedly faking an injury to trigger prop bets. Billups accused of hosting rigged poker games powered by hidden X-ray tables. And Jones supplying insider information straight from LeBron's orbit.
In a second, this announcement comes just as the NBA season was starting and not only involves a current coach of the Portland Trailblazers who's accused of being part of a rigged poker game involving mobsters in New York, but in a separate indictment, a former unofficial Lakers assistant coach accused of leaking injury reports to gamblers so they could bet big against.
What makes Jones's case uniquely disturbing is the level of trust he once held. During the 2022-23 season, the Lakers' own security staff treated him as family. He wasn't on payroll, yet he rode on the team plane, shared meals, and entered the training facility at will. It was a gray zone the NBA never formally defined, a loophole that allowed personal trainers and unofficial consultants to hover near star players without the same scrutiny given to team employees. According to league sources, it was exactly that gray zone the betting rings exploited. They didn't need hackers or insiders in the front office. They just needed someone close enough to overhear the trainer saying, "LeBron might sit out." When the arrests dropped on October 23rd, the NBA's front office scrambled. Commissioner Adam Silver admitted he had a pit in his stomach, calling it one of the most disturbing moments of his tenure. Yet the reaction also revealed the league's blind spot. Back in March 2023, when suspicious betting patterns surrounded Terry Rozier, the NBA conducted what it called a thorough investigation. They found no wrongdoing. Rozier stayed on the court. Now, that same player faces federal charges for coordinating with gamblers to fix his own prop stats. We're left wondering, how could the league's internal investigators have missed what the FBI found later in a single subpoena?
Winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet.
It raises a larger question. Was the NBA too entangled with betting partners to police itself? The league has at least 14 sponsorship deals with sportsbooks like FanDuel and DraftKings. Teams even share revenue from on-site betting lounges. That means the same organizations promoting betting apps to fans were also guarding the information gamblers needed most: who was hurt and who wasn't. The league's injury reporting policy already allows teams to delay official updates until 30 minutes before tip-off. In that gap, insiders could sell whispers worth millions. And Jones wasn't guessing. He had direct contact with trainers, the same people submitting those reports. Meanwhile, the FBI's findings show how deep the corruption ran. Investigators say the gambling networks were managed by members of the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese families, using extortion, crypto laundering, and intimidation to enforce debts. Players were both assets and pawns. When a tip went wrong, they didn't just lose money. They risked exposure, threats, and their careers. 10 players connected to the investigation are now confirmed gone under suspicious circumstances, and dozens more face charges or suspensions. The image of pro basketball as a clean, family sport has shattered.
They think like you should be an authoritative figure in that moment or say something. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I don't agree. What could he have done?
2 years, $150 million or whatever he's trying to get from the Lakers.
I'm gonna flirt a little bit.
You sit there, you do a little flirt, you do a little giggle, you say Happy International Women's Day, you cross your legs. Listen, he put on a seminar, he put on a clinic on how to do it.
No reciprocation.
Through all of this, LeBron James has said nothing. Not a word on social media, no comment through his PR team, no acknowledgement of Damon Jones' arrest. This silence is striking for a man who's never avoided public controversies, from political protests to viral internet rumors linking him to Diddy's extravagant parties. When images resurfaced of him attending those events, LeBron brushed them off with humor, but this time, he's choosing complete quiet. We can't ignore what that means. Silence, in moments like this, becomes its own statement. Insiders close to the Lakers suggest LeBron's camp was blindsided by the arrest, but advised to let the legal process play out. Yet that cautious approach has fueled speculation that the problem might reach further into his circle. If Jones had the kind of access federal documents describe, locker room conversations, travel schedules, medical notes, then he wasn't operating alone. Someone allowed that access, someone failed to question it, and someone benefited from the trust that protected him. The league calls it a personal betrayal, but to fans and analysts, it looks systemic. Even NBA veterans have begun to question how the league let it happen. Draymond Green called it a shocking day. Jaylen Brown, the NBA Players Association's vice president, said gambling had turned the sport into a different world, where players are harassed by bettors. Coaches admit they now lecture teams about what not to say to friends and family, knowing that one careless text could cost millions. It's a chilling new reality. Private information has become currency, and loyalty can be bought in fractions of a second. Yet the most unnerving part remains the proximity to LeBron himself. This is a man who built his billion-dollar brand on control of his body, his message, his empire. Every calorie, every media move, every partnership is measured. For someone that meticulous, having a trusted friend weaponize his injuries for cash feels almost unthinkable. But that's exactly what the indictment alleges. And if the greatest player of his generation can't protect his own secrets, then no one in the league is safe from exploitation.
We do have more breaking news this morning. 2 big names in the NBA among more than 30 people arrested in connection with federal investigation into sports betting and illegal gambling.
Now, as federal prosecutors prepare for trial, we're left with one unavoidable question. LeBron James didn't become a global icon by accident. He built an empire on precision and power. But if his own team couldn't stop Damon Jones from selling his injury secrets, what does that say about who really controls the narrative and how much of the NBA's world is still being played from the shadows? The $2,500 Damon Jones refunded wasn't just about a bad bet. It was a down payment on a much bigger problem. What looked like a failed tip was actually the first visible crack in a $7.15 million poker scam that stretched from Manhattan penthouses to Las Vegas hotel suites. FBI investigators now describe it as a criminal symphony, choreographed by 4 of New York's most notorious crime families. The Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese crews weren't hiding in the shadows. They were sitting at the same tables as retired athletes, coaches, and television personalities, using them as trophies to lure the wealthy. Every shuffle of the cards, every confident smile across a velvet table was part of a performance designed to drain fortunes under the illusion of fair play.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi.
The technology they used reads like science fiction turned business strategy. X-ray tables that could read hidden cards, shuffling machines programmed to favor certain seats, contact lenses that glowed only under infrared light, even poker chip trays wired to transmit data to off-site operators. It wasn't a game. It was a stage show where the audience didn't realize they were the props. We've learned that Jones, a so-called face card, was the celebrity bait. His job was to bring the names that made the tables look legitimate. When he wasn't sharing injury information from the Lakers locker room, he was sitting under chandeliers in rigged rooms that guaranteed the mafia a steady hold on every pot. The more we examine the timeline, the clearer it becomes. The sports connection was not accidental. It was the business model. Meanwhile, the NBA's own business was booming. Over $76 billion in media rights deals, a growing web of sponsorships, and partnerships with DraftKings and FanDuel that turned game nights into betting festivals. On paper, those deals are about engagement. In practice, they're pipelines for the same kind of prop bets that Jones and Terry Rozier allegedly manipulated. When the league sends out internal memos warning that player performance bets carry heightened integrity concerns, it sounds like a confession wrapped in corporate language. The same memo admits that teams are free to delay injury disclosures until just 30 minutes before tip-off. In that half-hour window, insiders can make or lose fortunes. The league's revenue grows alongside the risk. It's a contradiction that can't be ignored. The NBA claims to guard integrity while cashing checks from companies that profit when inside information leaks. The Lakers' own record shows how blurred the line has become. During one February weekend, the team waited nearly 6 hours to announce that a star wouldn't travel to Sacramento, a decision already known within betting circles long before the official update. The FBI memo refers to patterns of withheld data. The league calls it due process. But as one gambling analyst told The Athletic, the house can't also be the referee. It's a line that rings louder now that the league itself earns money from on-site sportsbooks built directly into its arenas. The fan pays for access, the team earns from the bets, and the players carry the pressure when gamblers turn every shot into a wager. And through all this, LeBron James remains silent. For a man whose every gesture sparks headlines, this silence feels less like caution and more like calculation. We can almost see the chessboard behind it. A billionaire brand with hundreds of endorsements can't afford even the shadow of implication. Yet silence invites its own speculation. Is LeBron protecting a friend, a business partner, or the infrastructure of his empire? He once praised Diddy's lavish gatherings on live streams, calling them unmatched. Those clips now resurface alongside stories of Diddy's criminal trial and conviction, casting new light on the circles of trust surrounding LeBron's off-court life. Insiders whisper that his advisors are auditing everyone in his orbit, trying to determine who might have shared what, and for how long. Because if Damon Jones could monetize one injury report, imagine what years of proximity might be worth.
Y'all want to get into LeBron at the game?
Let's go, man.
LeBron at the Laker game, sitting in between Jeannie Buss and I want to say that was Linda Rambis. I think her name is Linda, but that's Kurt Rambis' wife.
Okay.
Clip went viral. Listen, he's injured.
There's also the question of loyalty. Jones wasn't just an acquaintance. He was a piece of LeBron's history, teammate, assistant, confidant. For LeBron, acknowledging that betrayal means acknowledging vulnerability, and that threatens the very image he spent 2 decades building. Some analysts suggest his silence is a business move. Any public emotion could shift investor confidence in his ventures, from entertainment studios to wellness brands. Others think it's something deeper, a defensive reaction from someone realizing that control, the one thing he mastered, has finally slipped from his hands. Federal officials aren't finished either. Operation Nothing But Bet has reportedly merged into a larger probe, now known as Operation Royal Flush. According to law enforcement sources, Royal Flush isn't about cleaning up what's already happened. It's about mapping who's still involved. They've identified secondary conduits tied to team staff, performance consultants, and even personal trainers across multiple franchises. Subpoenas continue to land in inboxes from Los Angeles to Miami. The same agents who exposed Jones and Rozier are now tracing money trails through cryptocurrency wallets and private jets leased under shell companies. We can almost feel the tension in locker rooms, everyone wondering whose name comes next. If that sounds exaggerated, consider the stakes. The FBI has already linked 10 player demises and several violent debt collections to the same network. Prosecutors say these weren't random incidents, but part of a pattern of intimidation meant to keep insiders quiet. When we stack that next to the league's public optimism about monitoring systems powered by artificial intelligence, the gap between promise and reality feels enormous. Technology can track bets, but it can't track trust.
All I'm saying is that if he's salty with you, if he has a reason to dislike you, I'm not saying that delegitimizes the case. I'm just simply saying that he's not going to hesitate to come at you with a level of fervor that you should be aware of. And that's what we're talking about here. But there's another thing that's going on in the NBA right now. And I'm going to tell you something else.
Behind the glamour of primetime broadcasts and sneaker ads, this scandal exposes something raw. Professional basketball is now entangled with organized deception. Players are brands, injuries are commodities, and friendships can turn into currency overnight. We've seen this movie in other sports, but never with icons of this magnitude. The FBI says Operation Royal Flush is still active. The NBA says it's reviewing its rules. But if Damon Jones could walk into the Lakers locker room and walk out with LeBron's medical secrets, the real question isn't who's next, it's how many more like him are still inside. So what do we think? Has the league already crossed the point of no return? Or can it still reclaim its integrity before the next wave of arrests hits? Tell us in the comments whose name you think might appear in the next indictment, and whether LeBron's silence is brilliance or self-protection. Until then, stay alert, stay curious, and remember, every scandal starts with someone who thought they'd never get caught.